One day about a month ago, Trump was going through one of the roughest patches of his new term. Since taking office, to protect his vision of a pure America, he raised tariffs, hoping to bring Made in USA back to the top. He beefed up ICE, cracked down on the minorities he hates most, and went after those allegedly stealing real Americans' land. Everything seemed to be going smoothly until the night of February 8th, 2026. That night was the live broadcast of the Super Bowl halftime show. Even though Bad Bunny had been announced as the headliner months ago, the live broadcast that night still gave Trump the chills. The pure American society he'd been working so hard to build lately was now watching the biggest spectacle in the country, and the entire audience was singing along in the foreign language he despises most. He had no idea what Bad Bunny was singing, but what he did know was that young people all across America were about to start imitating this Spanish-speaking megastar's performance. To boycott this Hispanic Super Bowl, Trump even held his own rival, Turning Point USA halftime show, claiming that this was the only halftime show truly built for real Americans. Come look, everyone! I just want to kiss my fish, Turning Point USA! No, we have to reject this song and dance routine starring Bad Bunny, the most streamed artist on Spotify right now, and go watch a genuine redneck performance instead. Honestly, you know what the funniest part is? When Bad Bunny finished his set, Trump rage tweeted, "This is the worst halftime show ever! This performance is an absolute insult to the American spirit!" So, how exactly did you know the show was terrible? Unless you watched it? Unless you clicked over to the channel and watched it? If I were that singer at the Redneck halftime show, I'd be so pissed off. Seriously, I worked my ass off writing my song, "I Just Want to Kiss My Fish." It was so poetic, and Trump still chose to hate-watch Bad Bunny's performance instead of watching mine. So I'm just a clown to you, huh? For 60 years, the Super Bowl halftime performers have represented the pinnacle of American music and entertainment. And this is the very first time a Spanish-language artist has reached this height. Over the past 100 years, the U.S. entertainment industry gradually started dominating the globe. Starting in the 1960s, the American music industry went global too. Elvis, the Beatles, Michael Jackson, one American superstar after another, rode the wave of the U.S. entertainment machine across the ocean, exporting their culture to the entire world. To this day, whether it's a kid eating tanghulu on the streets of old Beijing or a kid playing soccer on the streets of Brazil, they're all going to school wearing a Spider-Man or Princess Elsa backpack. But the rule here is you have to use English as your foundation, and you have to follow the American values of U.S. creators. Even when Jackie Chan came over doing kung fu, he had to speak English. Cheese! Jackie Chan meant to say freeze. Cheese. The fuck are you laughing at? What? It's freeze. Oh, freeze. But in the last 50 years, Bad Bunny is the first artist to take non-English work, smash through every obstacle, beat out a ton of native-born singers, and win a Grammy. When he was 20, he was studying visual communications in college, but in his very first semester, he basically failed every single class. The guy just wasn't cut out for school. What do you expect? His dad was a truck driver, and his mom was a school teacher. He didn't have a rich family background to pave his way. What else could he do? So about 10 years ago, he dropped out and worked as a cashier at a grocery store. Then he caught the wave of the era and became a SoundCloud artist. All of his tracks carried that distinct, unique rhythmic bounce of Latin music. Compared to typical Western pop, it really makes you feel the groove of the music. Your ears might not understand what he's singing, but your body definitely does. Plus, his style back then was completely unhinged, which is one of the reasons he grabbed so much attention early on. After that, every song he dropped pushed his own limits, and every time he charted higher and higher. In 2018, he got the chance to collab with Cardi B, and later with Drake, making a North American megastar sing in Spanish. It was these crossover collabs that exposed him to a massive English-speaking audience. If he keeps up his current creative streak, can you really say it's impossible for him to surpass Taylor or Drake? Sure, there are some political factors at play here. You could argue that for the sake of diversity, right? The Grammys deliberately elevated his status in the US and gave him awards. But numbers don't lie. He was named Spotify's most streamed global artist for 4 years straight. To this day, Bad Bunny has 120 million monthly listeners, which is 20 million more than Taylor Swift. 51% of them come from outside the Spanish-speaking market. Do you realize how insane that stat is? Do you know what a superpower it is to make someone who initially feels nothing for you suddenly fall in love with you? Bro is basically playing a real-life dating sim. But seriously, in early March, he sold out 2 stadium shows back-to-back in Sydney, Australia. All 20 to 30,000 tickets, completely gone. And less than 1% of Australia's population speaks Spanish. Yet Bad Bunny still pulled it off. So how exactly did he do it? Like many modern artists, he's a master of social media. His hashtags on TikTok have over 160 billion views. Chances are that catchy tune you caught yourself humming while walking down the street was actually a Bad Bunny song. And his Spanish-speaking listeners will always be his most loyal fan base. While we were out here nitpicking his halftime show performance, let's take a look at the reaction from the Spanish-speaking world. Secondly, he learned to just be himself. Early in his career, he tried putting out tracks in English, but he quickly committed to sticking with Spanish. He also tried being a gangster rapper early on, with lyrics full of botany and chemistry, drugs. But eventually, he learned to be authentic. He stopped dressing so absurdly and learned to focus his music on his own life and his own feelings, making sure that what everyone heard and saw was the real, living, breathing Bad Bunny. Because that's what the market actually wants. You see that cool gangster lifestyle, and you think you can just emulate it, right? That if you act like a tough guy, people will respect you. But in reality, that's someone else's life. People can hear the paranoia and the weariness of that lifestyle in his voice. But if what you express is your own authentic life, even if that reality might bring you a lot of pain, isn't that the very essence of life? That's why the factory succeeds, and that's why DTMF succeeds. Let's have a rational discussion here. Why have so many Korean artists been grinding for so long, yet their global impact still can't touch Bad Bunny? Even though Bad Bunny single-handedly carried the banner for Latin music, his music articulates his culture, his experiences, and his real emotions. We get the vibe that Bad Bunny is a flesh-and-blood human being who grew up in Puerto Rico. But when it comes to the K-pop industry, they put all their focus on massive entertainment agencies, using the trainee system and assembly line production to mass-produce content at scale. Ever since Bad Bunny blew up, his tracks are almost exclusively sung in his native Spanish. Meanwhile, the Korean music nominated for awards is overwhelmingly English-driven, and K-pop's global spread is largely driven by idol culture and heavily mobilized fan bases. That culture is beloved by its dedicated fans, but to casual listeners, it just doesn't hit with the same rhythmic and cultural resonance as Latin music. Korean music's evolution is heavily built upon studying and adopting Black music. Basically, their entire musical framework is constructed inside Western music. What the general public hears is music manufactured by corporations to turn a profit, rather than music born out of pure culture, like what you feel in Bad Bunny's tracks. So if Korea tries to operate within the Western cultural framework, following the Western music model to directly compete with Western artists, hoping to reach the absolute top and win Grammy Awards, that in itself is a massive long shot. And that is exactly why, as of now, the furthest Korean domestic pop music has made it in the Big Four Grammy categories is just a nomination. Now, Korean culture has its own struggles. They're limited by the fact that the Korean-speaking population is way smaller than other major languages.